Hey everyone, welcome to a live stream, our first kind of live stream of this type here at Soulbound Studios, to show you some of the stuff that we've been working on in the 020 release, and to interact with you guys and give you a chance to help us in real time create some characters. As a quick introduction, if you've never joined us on one of the streams before and have no idea who we are, my name is Jeremy Walsh. Hello, I'm the creative and technical director here at Soulbound Studios. I'm being joined today by Vye Alexander, our studio producer, and she's going to be manning the keyboard today, helping you guys create some characters of the different tribes that we have, while I will be responding to Twitch and having a conversation with you guys. Also joining us is Kaizen behind the camera. He's helping us with all of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and we've got some of our community outreach people, our moderators and others in the channel to answer questions. We've also got Snipe Hunter there to help with moderation.
Our lead designer.
Our lead designer, yeah, that's Serpentius is there with moderation, and Snipe Hunter, our lead designer, is also in the Twitch stream chat, so if you have any questions, he can help us answer those as well. So, before we jump in real quick, I just needed to stop real quick, and we needed to say thank you to a few people. As you guys know, we have a close relationship with our community, and vice versa, and they periodically send us things to say thank you for our hard work, and in many cases to caffeinate us, to keep us hardworking.
Yeah, it helps.
It does help. So we wanted to really quickly thank those people and do some shout-outs. So
Indeed.
I'm gonna hand this over to Vye.
All right. One of the first things that that we received not too long ago, which has come super in handy for us, is we got a Bun Industrial coffee maker. It's like the kind that you would have in a restaurant where you can just alternate the
This is just a coffee pot, as you can see.
Yeah.
The machine is like us wide and cranks out coffee constantly throughout the day.
Yeah,
So.
it makes a cup super fast, and we can have coffee all day. And she also sent, this was from Countess Gwenor Sangloon from the Kingdom of Blackheart. And we also got along that with some coffee, some filters, a brush to clean it, and an extended warranty. So we're in the coffee with that.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that that's the only coffee that we can have.
That is not.
Because we actually got this 42-cup coffee urn, which is awesome. It brews and everything, so you just put in all the coffee you want, and then you just let it go, and then
42 cups.
42 cups of coffee.
42 cups. So we have plenty of coffee in the studio now, and that is great. We've got like gourmet coffee we've been picking up and trying all kinds of different things. We've yet to figure out whether or not we're mostly a dark or medium roast studio. We've kind of been going back and forth, but...
That's from Baron Sneezewort from the Kingdom of Ornair. He also sent us a bunch of kickstarts, which you're not really drinking these days anymore.
I'm not drinking. I'm more drinking the coffee now.
The coffee now, yeah. And we also got some bags of coffee with that as well, so thank you. Now, another thing that we got that I don't think that we can show you because we drank all of it is we got a bunch of locally grown Ecuadorian coffee from Count Atlas Sangloon, also of Kingdom of Blackheart. We got coffee and tea from Ecuador, and it was awesome.
It was amazing.
There was one of them that was really, really, really bitter.
Yes.
But it had a lot of depth.
It did.
So, I don't know.
And the timing was good because, if I recall, we also got some edible foods at the same time, which we also cannot show you today because they're gone.
Yes. We had Baroness Kitlandria from Boardwall, who gave us some, what she calls cake bombs, which were the bomb and were made of cake. And
Were they Vi? Because I heard that they weren't very good.
They were so good. Yeah, I lied and I said, "Oh no, the cake bombs are terrible." Don't,
she apparently did it in this
eat them.
It's not real voice, but I swear she was being serious, and so I avoided them until they were all gone. And she's quietly laughing until there's like one left, and I taste it and I'm like, "This is amazing!" And she's like, "Yeah, you didn't get the sarcasm in my voice," and I was so mad that I lost out on all those.
Everybody else on the team knew that.
They
I was
all
being
knew.
sarcastic.
They were making fun of me,
and they were just like, why is Caspian so fervently believing that? I'm like, they're gross. Don't eat them.
This is what happens when you trust
They're
Vi.
bad. Don't eat the cake bombs. They're just, I wouldn't if I were you. And then
she ate
as
them
I
all.
wanted, yeah. Well, me and the team.
Yeah,
the team
it wasn't
died.
just you.
Yeah, it was basically everyone.
They were
but
in on
you.
it.
But thank you, Kitlandria, for those. They're super delicious, especially the
You get the banana.
salted caramel banana ones.
Yeah, I didn't get any of those.
So good. We also got a weapon.
A weapon. We got our first weapon, and it is, I mean, in theory, it's functional.
Yeah, this is apparently battle ready. The Banhammer of Justice, which was sent to us by, or commissioned for us by King Adam Ryan I of the Kingdom of Vornair. So if you can see the engraving upon this fine weapon, it is totally suitable for smashing people's faces in.
This is hefty. This is insane.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
it's got a nice soulbound blue handle
and
a spiky bit.
I'm pretty sure that could pierce armor if you wanted it to. Like this has got some weight behind it.
Yes. So we generally leave that in Serpentius's capable hands.
Because he does wield the banhammer.
He does wield the banhammer. So if we missed anyone that we haven't mentioned, that we got something from you and we didn't call you out, let Serp know.
Yeah, who do we blame?
We
blame Serp.
Blame Serp.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your contributions. The coffee super helps. The coffee brewers certainly help, because our last machine was sad. It was sad.
It was like it was an actual like coffee pot thing that was like one cup at a time
for a household.
Yeah, it was not good.
Not a company of professional people who make video games for a living and need excess of caffeine.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and if we missed you this time, just let Serp know, and we'll give you a shout out next time. All
right, guys, that's the thank yous. So as you know, today we're going to be talking about character creation. Video games, MMORPGs in particular, or in our case, meows, depend heavily upon the character you're playing. It sets the mood for the game, it helps you visualize your character, it gives you an idea and a personality. You know, it's not just all about the physical traits, but many of us identify with our characters to a high degree. And so getting character creation and character customization right is very important to us. Now, we are obviously still in pre-alpha, so the stuff that you're going to see today is still in development. It's very much in development. We're going to be iterating on this stuff throughout the rest of the process. But what we wanted to do today was to show you the ward character creation and ward character customization process.
Now, a ward of the state, is a character who doesn't have parents. And so when they come into the game, they will be able to select their region, but they won't be able to derive any genetic information from their parents. So instead, you would be selecting from basic tribe options that are available in the region that you select. So we've got all of the different tribes that we've been working on available to show you here, and in the future when we add in the family genealogy character creator, we'll probably do another one of these and show just how your parents do impact the way that you will look. But for this, the limits are off, aside from just being constrained by the specific tribe that you chose, because they can be very different from one another. That was something that we wanted to achieve with our character design and character creation system, was to have an actual functional way of creating limitless possibilities for both tribe-based characters as well as ones that take the genetic information from their parents, which could be across different tribes, so they could be hybrids. Without us having to create all of those assets ourselves. So a lot of MMOs or RPGs will have like a set of a few faces that look nice, and some hairstyles and things that look nice. And we took a broader approach to that so that we could have more procedurally generated characters that all have distinct visual qualities, and not everybody's going to be attractive, and not everybody's going to be the ultimate definitive look of their tribe. There's a certain amount of variance that we are giving to the players. But yeah, we just wanted there to be a lot of variety in the world, because you are not just a toon or an avatar in Elyria. You're creating a character, a citizen of the world that lives there, whether you're online or offline, whether you are running them or not, whether they're an NPC or a PC. We wanted you to be able to see another character and go like, oh, I know who that is. Not just be like, oh, I've got that same character model. Everything is going to be unique.
So there are two things. There was a question from KitNex inside of the Twitch stream asking us, like, if everybody can breed with one another, why do we even bother having different tribes? And it's important to note that we do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, whereas in most MMORPGs, where you have a preset selection of races that you can pick, and it only takes a couple models, there are males and females of each of these different races, and they add some bonuses. It's kind of flavor to have, one race versus another. There's some kind of mechanical differences, but they're usually minimal. Well, in Chronicles of Elyria, there are over 20 different biomes, and each of those biomes range in elevation and temperature and humidity, and as a result of that, it takes different sets of inherent traits to survive in each of those different biomes. And so all of our tribes represent a natural evolution that has occurred for the Illyrians that exist within those biomes. Here on Earth, we as humans, depending upon your beliefs, continue to evolve, but at the point where we developed technology, we stopped evolving and started relying on our ability to control our environment instead of their environment's ability to control us to handle our further evolution. Well, in Elyria, they developed technology much later than we did in our world, and so as a result of that, they continued their process of evolution for much longer. And so as a result, each of the different tribes or their bloodlines have distinct advantages and disadvantages that make them more or less suitable for the different biomes. As well as being segregated like they were in their different biomes, they've developed different religious and cultural beliefs as well. And these all help drive the story and the conflict of the game. So it's not just the active and passive bonuses that you might see in normal MMOs. It's so much more than that. It's what your character believes. It's their alignment, towards and against other tribes and other religions, and so many more things than that. But as Vi was saying, we don't just have 8 different character models with a couple different faces and a few things that you can scale. We need a system that would support all ranges of tribes and bloodlines, and because you can interbreed them, we needed a character and animation system that would span the gamut, which would go all the way from the lowly Kipik to the massive Yoru.
Lowly.
Well, I mean figuratively.
Diminutive.
Like, diminutive. Sorry,
diminutive is the word that he meant. Not
I meant
lowly.
not lowly, but height-wise. So actually, I think we have a couple clips, though, to show you that actually describes visually a little bit about how we go about creating those characters. So let's take a look at that.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. All right. So what you're going to be seeing is a video that was pulled together by one of our animators. And basically what we do when we're creating these characters is we start in Maya, and we will go ahead and create a visual target for what we want the character tribe to look like, or the bloodline. And then we will go ahead and we will add controllers to it that then map to the in-game UI that we have that allow us to then get as close as possible using our in-game tools to the visual targets that have been created by our character artists and animators. And so by doing so, it makes sure that we've got the tools in-game on our characters to reach a range of characters. I would say broad, square chins, pointy chins, round chins, all the way up to smooth foreheads, flat foreheads, eyes of varying sizes. We've got the Harathi have smaller, kind of more beady eyes, where you've got the Kipik of about the same height who have these large, beautiful, massive eyes. And so we really needed to support everything.
But we wanted to do it with one
model.
One model. So what you saw in that clip was the fact that we can deform that one model into a variety of different ways and shapes, so that we can actually provide very distinct character models for people to generate, as well as to open the door for that interbreeding.
Right. And speaking of very distinct, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we are in various stages of polish on the different tribes. Some of them haven't had their targets completely done yet. We haven't seen them from the Harathi and from other places, and so those we're going to continue to be iterating on. To date, which you'll see, the Yoru actually have the most detail in their face. The Yoru were actually the first ones that we designed. We did the concept for the Yoru before any of the others, and I think they're further developed than some of the other tribes are, even though they're not one that we've been actively showing to the community. So as we're creating these characters,
they just have their normal maps working.
They've got more extreme facial features too.
That's why they have that.
We're gonna be working on all of these, so do keep in mind that these are still in progress. So nothing is locked down, and we've still got time to iterate on these. But let's get started, shall we?
Yeah. Well, what we're looking at here is the orrery, which is a representation of the Illyrian solar system. And this will be the first part of character creation for most characters, aside from if you're taking over an NPC.
People keep asking about the orrery. The orrery that you see here is a more advanced version of the one that's in the store right now. It's much larger, and it shows the full range of planets which are necessary for character creation because it's part of your character's story. The one that you can buy in the store right now is tabletop size. It's about 2 2.5 feet, about a meter, and it doesn't have the Vitorian planets. It only has the Kindred planets, because in terms of time, the Kindred were the first to discover the planets, so they named them, and then the Vitori came along later and named the smaller outer planets. So, there you go.
But choosing your birthday will this is a temporary UI, so don't worry too much about that. But the purpose of choosing your birthday is that it does actually lead into your character's fate, destiny, astrology, and a bunch of other things that will actually impact your character. So as you would choose different things, there are things that mean stuff. Right now this is just a preliminary experience for this, but the takeaway here is that you will, where the planets lie when your character is born, does actually matter.
It does have meaning.
It does really matter.
And you'll see later, but this is the real world positions. These are based on current time. So when you get into the game and you get into the character creator, the possible positions that you can create are going to change day over day, month over month, year over year. And at some point, it is no longer possible to create a specific configuration just because we've passed that time. And so I encourage you guys to pay attention to the different alignments and other things, as there could be some cool and interesting things hidden with various planetary alignments.
Yeah, like after launch, nobody will be able to have the birthday 1/1/8/19. That'll just be...
That'll be done.
That will be done. Nobody else will be able to be born then. All right, well, let's do it.
Let's move ahead. So, don't go back up.
All right.
So screen 2, as you can see, we don't have it interactive right now, but this is actually the screen where characters will pick where they want to start in the world. This is a generated map that we've created, that we've been testing off of. And imagine that there are pins everywhere that based on filtering that we don't have in the UI right now, we've got not shown, would allow you to pick which family and where in the world you want to get started. So,
and that will depend on which tribe options are available to you. While there will be a variety of different tribes that will be available to you as a ward of the state in particular regions, some of them are going to be a little more xenophobic or just not have as much cultural variety as other regions, and so it will limit your choices. You're not necessarily going to be able to make a Turesk in like a Kipik forest or something like that, but maybe in a Naren town that option would be available.
All right, so guys, what do we want to see first? Let's get some callouts. What tribe do you guys want to see first?
Maybe we should just go one at a time through each one, just to show.
All right, we'll go quickly through all of them. We'll create one of each, and then you guys can help us customize a little bit. So let's start with the Harathi.
It is worth noting, as you alluded to earlier, that there are 8. Pardon me. There are 8 tribes that are discovered and available to play at launch, but there are 4 more that will be able to be discovered. And because we're making a single character model that can do the full gambit of different tribes, we are making all 12 tribes. This is so we will see them today, but we haven't released information about the undiscovered tribes.
Yep. But this is a takeaway. The takeaway here is that they are all there at launch. You're just not able to play them, but they do exist in the world.
Yep.
I got Harathi. Goddamn, couldn't speak. Harathi, male and female. We got the Kipik, the more diminutive race.
Yes.
It's important to note that some of the differences between the Harathi and the Kipik. The Harathi tend to have stronger upper bodies from their time working in the mountains and the forging and things like that, whereas the Kipik are more proportional. So where they don't have the longer torsos and stronger upper bodies that the Harathi do, and instead are more in line with the Naren in terms of proportions. They're just smaller.
Yeah.
So we got our males and our females.
The
Dross. So one thing to point out, guys, here, the arm lengths on some of the tribes, the Genoa and the Dross, are disproportionately larger than they are on the other tribes. On purpose. We are tuning them still, but you are going to note that they are longer than the others, and that is by design. It is not an accident. It has to do with the way the Genoa move. They locomote through the forest differently than others do, and as you guys may know, the Dross are descendants of the Genoa. The Genoa female. Love those tats. Love the striping. Awesome.
Natural camouflage.
Yeah. The dirty stripeless. We saw them first.
Cool. Brood beer.
So not quite as tall as the Genoa and Dross, but significantly stronger.
They're bulkier.
They are much bulkier.
But they're more proportional, whereas the Genoa and the have longer arms and longer upper torsos.
Yep.
The Brood beer female. The hearty woman.
Yep. The Weird. We are the Weird. Whether you're male or female, you are still Weird.
Yes.
Oh, the other thing to note, guys, as we randomly generate these, you're going to notice different facial hair and different hair on the body, or on the head. Those are right now being randomly generated. We don't have them constrained by tribe. We also don't have them constrained by gender. And that's partially intentional, because as you know, once you get into the game, it's theoretically possible for you to set your hairstyle to whatever you want. So we don't, at this point, have male hair and female hair. It is just hair. But it is also important to note that not all tribes will necessarily have the same amount of facial hair or hair that grows as quickly. And so you might see hairstyles today that aren't necessarily conducive to one tribe or another through the random generator. But as we're going through the tribes in more depth, we'll talk a little bit more about which hairstyles you can expect to see, because some of them are designed to be more tribe specific.
The Ogham are one of the undiscovered tribes.
Yep. They're the Savannah tribe.
Nice mustache.
Oh, the Midori. Alright, I know there are people that have been waiting for them.
Midori.
Let's see the Midori female. We'll get on those faces in a little bit. We'll see those eyes.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give her a bowl cut.
Bowl cut.
Alright. Erishay in the desert.
Somebody said all the tribes look the same to me. Do the Yoru look the same to you? They look very different to me.
I mean, they all look like bipedal organisms.
Yeah, I mean that's true. They all are bipedal organisms.
Indeed.
We're getting a lot of Jesus Christ, and yeah, they're big.
Yeah, let's
just jump to the Kipik real quick so you can get a comparison. Yeah. That's actual size. That's in-game size.
Same model, same character skeleton, same... Yep. There. And then Aaron, of course, which are the human analog in the world of Elyria. Pretty average.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
That was me before I ate today, just so you know. All right,
so everybody's had a chance to see the general characters, but... we can go in.
Do you want to pick one first?
Let's let them choose.
All right. What do you think, guys? Let's see which tribe you guys want to go in and customize a little bit, and we'll get in on the face too. Naren best tribe. I have Naren abs. Dross. I'm seeing a lot of Dross. 3 in a row.
3 Dross.
All right, there are tons of Dross. Let's start with the Dross.
All right.
All right. Kill the spam, guys. We're gonna start with the Dross.
Well, okay. So I mean.
It's still streaming.
Dross, Brood beer.
Dross, Brood beer,
yeah, okay.
All right.
Well, don't worry. We'll get to a lot of this.
All
right. So the Dross are they are from the swamp.
They are the swamp tribe.
Yeah. And so we've got some images out there of what the swamp looked like. It's not a bog.
No.
It's not like this
No.
terrible place to live.
A lot of people think of the swamp as a very dark and very dreary and a very gray kind of environment, but that is more bog-like. The reality is swamps, especially in Elyria, are places of life, because a swamp, unlike wetlands, is filled with biological water. The water is made up of a series of compost and a lot of nitrogen and organic water, and so as a result of that, a lot of things grow inside of a swamp. And so I think the Dross, more than any of the tribes, have recognized the beauty that exists inside the swamp. So even though it is a dangerous, toxic, difficult place to live, they certainly do enjoy being there.
Yeah, although they have developed a ghoulish physique and pale skin, but they are pretty tall and they're pretty cool.
We've had a request to make Rowena. So, what do you think? We think we can attempt Rowena today?
Sure.
All right.
Well, we need to know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if Queen Rowena is on, but we can do our best based on what we've got here. So, let's try a female. Let's take a look at the Dross female. All right. Let's see.
Now you notice that the height can be changed, but it is constrained by this tribe. They can't be particularly short. Like the shortest Dross is still taller than the tallest Kipik or the tallest Naren, because that's just their genetics.
Yep. Got some people who are claiming the game will never come out. That's very disappointing. You are wrong, sir, but one thing at a time. Neck girth, shoulder girth. So you can see as she scrolls down, we've got a ton of sliders right now. These aren't necessarily final. As you can see, there's a lot of things right now that we're tuning, and that's because we still are doing a lot of internal manipulation of the tribes in order to make sure that things are proportional and that we like the pluses and minuses and the ranges. Not all of these sliders may be there at launch. They may be collapsed into more categorical, like waist or shoulders or things like that, as opposed to having so many sliders. And as we get into the facial customization, we might remove the sliders altogether and instead choose to use a more diegetic interface, a way to actually move the bones of the face around and things like that. So please understand that the UI is still pre-alpha.
Like the arms.
Get the arms.
Hips extra wide.
She's looking pretty scrawny now.
We'll do like middle of the road.
There you go.
Let's see. Really, I gave her like extra. Her leg proportion is like max leg.
Wow, she's lengthy.
Yeah.
There was some question.
We could do like the arm length. We can make that extra small.
There was some question about the racial traits. The racial traits that each of the tribes have are based on the biome that they are in, and so the Dross, being swamp dwellers, tend to have traits that allow them to survive in a swamp. So they have high resistance or immunity to disease, to poisons, which they inherited from being descendants of the Genoa tribe, and toxins. They also, though, are relatively pale. They don't have the amount of melanin inside their skin that many do, partially just because they lack the nutrients to develop that melanin, and partially because they are constantly covered by the shade of the swamp, and so they just tend to not get as dark. Even though they are a subtropical and tropical tribe, they just don't tend to be as dark due to the coverage. They, as you can see, aren't a particularly strong tribe, nor are they particularly attractive. I mean, they have kind of a dark beauty to them, but it's important to understand that culturally the Dross really value inner beauty over outer beauty, and so the clothing that they wear is fairly colorless. It's very functional and things like that, but they do value the inner beauty of characters. They are very intuitive. They are very good at recognizing the will of others. That is a crazy hairstyle there.
Cool.
Long hair 3. We've got a couple different eyes. We had talked about doing yellow eyes as well. We may still do that because of the Genoa heritage. But at the moment, we're doing the purplish and bluish eye color. So let's go through some of the hairstyles. Let's work our way down. Bald. Lovely.
Bowl cut.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's like that's Trinity right there from the Matrix.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Great fun.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's very, very nice fun.
So that's more of a I think all the tribes can wear that one, but I think that's particularly a Naren hairstyle.
Yeah.
Although you might see it on some of the Kipik too. Kipik tend to have shorter, spikier hair, but they could occasionally put them up.
Yeah, this thing.
That is a Broodveer hairstyle. The Broodveer are very much warriors. They're hunters, as much like the Genoa are, and so most of the hairstyles of the Broodveer tend to be tightly knotted, braided, and things like that. This is the braided undercut one.
Oh, it's right now. It's the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like the Clark Gable. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's a good one.
But it works. Longer hair.
It's a little more Kipik-like. Tends to be a common Kipik hairstyle.
This could be a good Dross hairstyle.
You like it?
Yeah. It's cool.
That was a Dross hairstyle. I know that one was originally made to be kind of a Dross hairstyle.
Oh, that's cool stuff. That one's a little more, got a cool ponytail thingy in the back. It's good times. Long hair 4.
Ooh, I love that one. That's, I think, my favorite Kipik hairstyle.
It's like,
That's like almost,
shaggy.
it's not pixie, but it's like pixie, longish, pointy, I don't know, it's almost an anime hairstyle.
I don't know, I'd say a little bit like Mick Jagger. It's a nice medium length, a little less shaggy, a little more put together. Good stuff. Ponytail. Everybody needs a good ponytail.
Everybody needs a good ponytail.
Yeah, and we have a ponytail. Short hair. Short hair's cool.
And again,
you notice some of this stuff, the skull cap just isn't colored right now.
Yeah.
But because we're still working on it.
And the lighting in here, well, we're still tuning the lighting. You can see there's some highlights a lot across the top. It looks fairly bright. That's because there's some torches in the foreground that you can't see that are giving off a little too much light right now.
But we didn't want it to be one of those dungeon character creators where you can't see what you're doing.
Then you get out of here like, why is my character so much lighter than I thought they were?
We're like, I didn't know they were so green.
That's another Broodger hairstyle, isn't it?
No, it was kind of a Naren hairstyle. That's where we came up with it. Anyway.
Oh, that's right.
Call it a side hawk, but I guess there's probably a better word for that. School. Nice shaved. Like pristinely shaved. So
yep.
She's doing a good job. Cuts that every day. Updo.
Now this is a Terresque hairstyle.
Primarily a Terresque hairstyle.
Yeah.
It would be something that you would see there because they're fancy schmancy.
Yeah, the culture of the Terresque is very much one of fanciness and aristocratic comparison, and so they tend to have very fancy hairstyles.
Yeah. The
bigger, the better. The updo and the braids and everything else.
Yeah, indeed. And shave, which is a bug right now.
Yep.
But you get it. It's shaved hair. And she couldn't technically wear this. This is more the Erishe and the Weirds hair, but we can put it on her. So she got some dreadlocks going on. So what do we want?
Well, let's see. We've got what hairstyle do you guys want us to move forward on? We got a suggestion. Kitlander, we do plan to add even more hair. This is just stuff that we've been doing early on. They say the ponytail.
All right, ponytail.
Let's do the ponytail. We're going to add a lot more hair still. This is stuff that we've been doing as we've been doing the tribe concepts. And so it's just kind of like things we've been doing for testing of the various hairstyles, as well as some cultural stuff for each of the different tribes. But Vye is going through the randomness, so you can see that there is a ton of various randomization stuff. There's also a couple presets that we've set right now that we're using. There will be these presets available at launch as well, as a way to give you guys a starting look, because each of the different tribes do have a couple typical face shapes that you can use to kind of base things off of.
I think preset 1 looks cool.
Preset 1? And then you thought there was a lot of customization around the body. Let's give them a scroll. Let's show the customization we have around the face right now.
Not the final UX.
Not the final UX. I think last count there was
something like 84.
80 something different dials that you can use to adjust the characters.
Yep. Because we wanted to again be able to create a large variety of different face shapes, and so some of these will be available for a ward of the state, just flat out, and some of them will be less directly editable.
Many of them are derived from the family and stuff like that.
Let's give her kind of a narrow face. Little round. Let's see.
Face height, give her a smaller face.
Smaller face? Yeah, okay.
Let's do a narrow face. Keep the face shape.
Okay, more pear shapes.
Pear shape,
bigger on the top, smaller on the bottom.
So there are several different face shapes that you typically will find. You'll find oval shapes, oblong, round shapes, square shapes, heart shapes, and we do incorporate them. You see some of them more common on different tribes. Right now the Dross tend to have more oval shape or heart shaped, depending upon the hairstyle. And again, you'll notice that for some of these, we're not seeing a huge amount of change. We are going to be tuning these more as we go along, but do keep in mind that these are tribal constraints that are being enforced. And we do that to make sure that you don't get Naren that look like Genoa at the outset. As your characters are played and they breed, then they will naturally start to evolve and look more like the tribes and bloodlines that they've evolved with. She's not bad looking. Yeah. I think a lot of people were concerned that the Dross were always super ghoulish, but as you can see, that is not the case. I think if you spin her around, give her a 45-degree angle, she's quite pleasant to look at for being a Dross. So you've done a good job thus far.
We could make her a lot more ghoulish.
You could.
What are they saying?
They say she looks good.
This is pretty much what I would do when the game comes out. It's just do this for a little
Do that
time.
for like ever. You can control the mouth positions. They want to see what we can do with the nose. How much can we manipulate the nose? I think... Did we pass the nose already? I don't think so.
Let's give her a thicker up over. It's a little more. We want to do nose?
There's cheekbone depth, nose depth. There we go. Now we're with the nose stuff.
Well, let's give me a little bit more of a profile so I can see what I'm doing. Nose ridge height.
Oh, that's the ridge on the front.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
You might need to see the front for this one.
Yeah.
So you can see that they tend to have kind of narrower noses by default. That's just a trait of the Dross. It's also a similar trait of the Genoa. You can make your character look less like a meth head. That's true.
Yeah, and a little button nose.
Let's see what that looks like.
Just like make it.
Nah.
Or do we want?
We want the proper Dross nose.
Okay, nice.
Bit of the nose tilt, nose width. Not going to see a whole lot on the nose width for them.
Somewhere in the middle.
So, I don't know, again, reminder guys, this is all being done with a single model. So all the different facial customizations right now, like I said, there might be a more diegetic UI or user experience for this at some point, but all of these are related to this. The facial customization is present there in every single character you see. People want to know if there are characters that can't have beards. The Harathi can have beards, but it is culturally unacceptable. So you might get shunned as a Harathi with a beard, but it is technically possible to grow one.
Like a witchy nose?
So the races give you a starting template. The constraints are what keep people from messing up the tribes. So, no matter how much we customize her, to make her more attractive or less attractive, we change the nose lengths or the curvature, we make her lips thicker or wider. All of these things are still going to look like a Dross. There's a question about our ability to, with all these different customizations, whether or not we can save and continue progress later on. You guys are not the first to think about that. Scroll up to the top for just a second. You'll notice that there is a save button right there.
Yeah, that's not ultimately going to be...
It's not ultimately for that, but we have right now the ability to export all of these things so that we can import and continue. Many of us have talked about the ability to...
It may take you a while to make your character, so we...
Right.
we
don't want you to be doing this for like 4 hours and have a power surge and have to start all over again. So it is not a locked feature, but we do have the ability right now to export all these bone positions, and more than one of us have said we would like the ability to be able to save and resume.
Narrower nostril.
People say she's quite pretty now.
Oh.
You're doing a good job.
Thanks. Is that what we were trying to make? Is it pretty?
I don't know. You're achieving it if that was the goal. The Dross have united. Eye height and eye length. Next one down. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I like the higher. Not too much. She looks so weird. Oh no, she was doing so well. Whoa.
Right.
That's interesting. She doesn't look too bad with them that far apart.
Eye depth is important for Dross.
So, they were asking about alpha release. So while you're working on the character customization, just a quick heads up to you guys, we are working on 2 clients at the same time. The first client that we're going to be releasing to people is the voxel client. It's the same game, it's the same backend, but it does have a voxel front end, which allows us to iterate on features much more quickly without having to worry about having all the animations and models and meshes and materials and everything in. Players in our Alpha 1 access bracket in that cohort will be getting access to the voxel client for Chronicles of Elyria in a very pre-alpha bare bones model in less than 2 months. I don't have the date in front of me, but it's a little over a month, I think, something like that, a month, 6 weeks, somewhere in there. And then Alpha is the same functionality, expanded, because people who are in the pre-alpha, the people who have Alpha 1 access, are actually going to get to see a lot of our alpha gameplay mechanics go in live in real time over the period of development. So at some point there will be a snapshot. We'll take all the features we currently have and we'll release that as alpha, except instead of using our voxel client, it will be inside of our Unreal 4 client. As you can see, I'm sporting my Unreal t-shirt today. Got my UE shirt on. I tend to like to advertise our partners, so the veininess is actually part of the, somebody asked about like their veininess. The veininess is part of the tribe, the bloodline. That's something that as you procreate and breed will change. It's very much dependent upon how much melanin you have, how thin your skin is. The Dross in particular have some of the thinnest skin because of the lack of nutrients that they have for them. And so they, I think, probably have more veininess than most of the other tribes. The other one who is very veiny are the the Yoru, because they have even less thick skin, and that has to do with the fact that they're mostly primary food source is a fish up in the tundra that allows them. It's almost like antifreeze, really. It allows them to live and survive in much colder climates, and so as a result, the dermis layer is also not as thick. They don't need as thick of skin. No, the Dross do not have the thinnest skin. They are one of the thinnest. The Yoru actually have the thinnest skin.
Earlobes.
Can you make the veininess more pronounced if you continue mating with other Dross? It is an inheritable trait. So if you were to find spouses that have more veininess, then it would become more visible over time. Yes.
Cool. We should do another one.
Yep, let's do another one. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with her. Let's do one of the guys. Let's see Midori. Ooh, they want to see the Midori. I can get behind the Midori. Let's do a Midori male. All right. Let's start here. Let's. Ooh, he randomly drew that again because he ended up with a. Nope. Let's minimize the facial hair. That's not bad. There we go.
Hell yeah.
Let's start there. So you can see right away the Midori are ripped. That has to do with the fact that they're a seafaring tribe. They are islanders, and they do spend a lot of time on their ships and swimming, and have advanced skills in swimming and things like that. Let's go with a lighter, medium tone skin. There you go.
Okay.
And they tend to be among the shorter tribes. They are the genetic ancestors of the Teresk. So they are the genetic descendants of the Teresk. So they are a little bit on the shorter side. But they are very muscular. And again, you got fairly small ranges to manipulate. We'll be changing them some over time, but do about medium shoulder width. It's a little blurred.
Okay.
There you go.
Sweet pecs.
Oh, I missed what Snipecutter said, but...
Sweet pecs? No sweet pecs.
Let's do the sweet pecs.
Okay.
I'm digging that.
Alright.
Ugh, I'm feeling it. That's my character. That was modeled after me.
Even more? Like,
You get the back muscles. Spin them around. Let's see how those back muscles are doing.
Yeah, he's good.
It's kind of weak on the back, actually.
He's got some good
Yeah,
lats.
it's got some lats. There you go.
Give him more like a bodybuilder's physique.
There you go. I could totally play that. I'd play that.
Average. Yeah, that's nice. Upper muscles.
Muscles.
Muscles. Yeah.
Hand size.
Like that there.
Lower leg girth. Oh yeah, you get those good calf muscles in.
Or skip leg day.
Oh no. We want leg muscle. We want leg day. Leg day.
Oh,
No,
Major
that's too much.
That's too much.
Yeah, no, that looks unnatural.
Okay. Make something like big hands. Good for lifting.
Nice. All right. So the first thing you guys are going to notice is their eyes. The Midori actually have eyes very similar to a tortoise's. They've got a double lens. So there is an outer lens. Can you turn to the side? It will allow you to see the outer lens. A little bit. Keep going. There you go. So they've got a fairly large cornea on the front as a secondary lens, and then inside they've got eyes that have the banding that sea tortoise has. So go ahead and turn it back to the front. They've got blue and green eyes that match the ocean. So you can see they've got some blue eyes, some green eyes, some very green eyes. Incidentally, if you followed our lore, it's good to know that Naomi Jade is at least half Midori. So there's something there for you guys to think about. All right, let's see what hair we want for them.
What hair?
I don't know. Let's go with not the bowl cut. Let's go with the shave, like the rough shave. What is that one? The shaved one down at the bottom.
Just out on the barge, doing stuff. Shaved head.
They say dreads. They want to see him with the dreads.
It's not technically.
It's not technically his hairstyle. I mean, the dreads are more of the Airshade and the Weird.
We'll
but
just have to do the weird next if they want to.
No, that's right. We'll do the Weird next.
Have the dreads on an actual dreaded character.
Let's go with. I like the red hair. Let's do a red. But if we're gonna do red, we should make his hair a little bit longer. We should find his short hair so it looks good. Not the combed hair. Jesus, really? The updo? That was just wrong.
No?
Let's go with short hair. Sure. Although, actually, let's save the bright red for the Broodveer. Let's do one of the an auburn hair. Get a little bit more brown. There you go.
What kind of mustache?
What kind of mustache? I think that they want to see him with the Caspian or the Caspian 2. So that's Caspian on a long hair day, a long goatee day, and on a short goatee day. Nice.
Full beard. Midori aren't really full beard.
They're not.
Kind of
No,
people.
they're more. The Midori actually are goatee hair. Like that's a good one right there.
Or that.
Or the handlebars. I like the goatee. I think that one looks the best on the Midori.
Right.
There you go. The pirates. There you go.
Sure.
Don't randomize. Get some preset faces.
Which one do you want to start with?
I like to pronounce cheekbones of number 2 or 3. Let's do 3 or preset 2.
Okay.
We start. Of course, we number from 0 to 2. So programmers.
Numbering system started at 0.
The Bombastus mustache. Is this the Midori Bombastus? Is that what we're seeing right here?
Then not very round face.
So they're saying my ego shows because I named the mustache or the beard type after me. I'll have you know that I did not name those. I didn't even know they were being created. That was done entirely by my supportive, enthusiastic team of developers here who just like to make fun of me.
It's good times. We did it all on our own. Can't really see his gels with his let's start at the bottom. Good ears. Cool. Do some.
They want to see what we can do with ears. They want to see whether or not we can make elf-like ears.
Well, you're not going to make them point.
No. But ear scale, ear height, they're all up at the top. Getting there. There you go. Get the pitch right. Holy crap.
Now I need to change the earlobes. We need the
Get the roll. Change the
ear.
ear pitch back down again. I think is what it was. That's kind of an interesting one. It's got almost like a hook on the back. That's nice. If not, they don't like his bug eyes. Like I said, his bug eyes are intentional. It's for seeing underwater. The Midori can actually see underwater.
You don't like it, don't blame Midori.
Yeah. But you can control their eye size a little bit too. They do have sea turtle eyes. They are intended to look that way.
That's as low as it goes, guys.
Yeah, we've got them as pointy and kind of curvy as they get. It's Aquaman, chill. You don't actually have to do much with them. They come out, I think, the Midori come out looking pretty good from the outset.
It's a man.
They cannot breathe underwater. However, the survival stat for suffocation on the Midori is much higher, so they can stay underwater longer.
Some cheekbones.
Poseidon looking. They can see in the water, yes. What that means from a gameplay standpoint is that many of the tribes, when they're underwater, or all the other tribes actually, get the kind of the Fresnel effect and the blurry vision that we would normally see when we're underwater, but the Midori do not. For the Midori, it is perfectly clear under there, just like being above water. We've had a request for the most disgustingly cute Kipik we can possibly make. Max out the cute sliders.
I could probably just...
Hold on, before we do that, go back to the face real quick. Take the beard off. And people did want to see what the ranges of possible values are. So let's go ahead and randomize the face a good amount. He's pretty Man of Steel no matter... Oh, there you go. You got a little bit more of a bigger head. A little narrower there. Wider. Bigger nose. Getting a little better now. Got the pointy ears. Alright. So, like you said, or like we've said before, I mean, they can be customized, but the constraints on them are pretty tight. We may loosen those up a little bit, but for the most part, they look good right now.
So, do you think we need to make it as cute as possible?
Cute as possible. Do we want a male or a female? Can I get a shout out from Twitch? Do we want to see the male or the female cutest Kipik possible? I'm waiting. Female, male, Willem Dafoe, female. Oh, there was a lot of females. I just saw a span of females go by. All right, we're gonna make a female, guys. Average tan. That's all right. So let's go ahead and randomize the face a little bit, just so to show them the range. I think the Kipik have some of the widest ranges. Really like the face shapes. Got the kind of the more round, pixie type faces. Oh yeah, people love the eyes. I like to go with the black eyes personally, just because that's one of the most unique traits of them. Is they've got those soulless black eyes.
They have souls.
They do have souls. I mean, just people say they look souls. I think actually they're very touched. I mean, think about it this way: not only do they have souls, but they think everything has souls because they are Faden.
Yeah. So
I would say they're some of the more soulful. Am I having fun? I am having fun, guys. Character creation all day long.
I could just do this for
Yeah,
days.
do this for a long time.
Let's give her...
Soul-sucking eyes are creepy but cute, they say. Oh, look at that.
What's the cutest hair?
the community they agree we should do this all day long.
Okay.
This is today. What's today? Wednesday? This is our Wednesday today, Vi. We're just gonna sit here and create characters all day.
Okay. Let's see. Probably have a rounder face.
Let's do a little wider face. Can you get more straight on? I want to see the face shape. There you go. Go back to the face width again. Do we have that inverted? looks inverted right now. Okay, go on the other side. I want to get around your face. All the way to the left. No, never mind. I was wrong.
No, you were wrong. Let's see.
So one thing you guys are going to note, guys, and gals in the community, we're creating a character right now. She is about 20 years old, 21. When you're creating a character in Chronicles of Elyria, you're creating your character at their kind of peak, early to mid-20s. When you actually get into the game, though, your character is going to start younger than that. As a ward, your character is going to start all the way at 12 years old. And so it's not going to look exactly like this when you first get into the world, but it will grow into this. And then, of course, what your character looks like beyond that is entirely unknown, and that's part of the mystery and the fun is getting a chance to see what that character looks like as they get older. And what they look like as they get older is a function of, you know, your diet and fat consumption and things like that, but also the underlying bone structure, since, you know, we naturally age in certain ways depending upon what our underlying bone structure is. So no two characters are going to look the same in the world as they start to age, which is, I think, one of the more exciting things. We need to do something with the chin. The mouth and the chin. I think we want more pout. Do we want pouty lips or do we want thinner lips? Oh, I like that. Go up. Okay. Looks a little better, a little higher, I think.
Working on it. I think narrower lips.
Narrower?
Narrower.
Alright.
Let's see.
Nah, looks better back.
Upper lip puff.
Let's see that one straight on.
It's affecting you.
Yeah, you're gonna see the shadow though. Or not. Okay, you're right. You were right. Yeah. You've spent a lot of time in character creators, haven't you?
Yeah.
I can tell.
This is all I do on my games for the most part.
So right now, guys, there are no, like I said, we have a couple presets that we use, but there are morph constraints with bone deformation. So there is a wide range, but because we have so many different tribes, and we want to make sure that there is uniqueness across the different tribes, the constraints only allow you to go so far in certain areas. We've been talking about loosening them up a little bit and kind of making them more categorical, picking some things that we feel are good primary traits for the tribe and leaving those fixed, and then allowing everything else to be opened up a little bit more. But the goal is always for the tribes to look visually distinct, so I don't know that that's going to change too much. But do remember, part of the fun of character creation is not just what you can create as a ward and like the constraint limits that are set by the tribe that you're playing, but also by what happens when you breed with other characters. So as I said, we'll probably show you guys that at some point in the future as well, once we get more of the family system in place. And what that'll allow you to do is then be able to pick mom and dad and then kind of blend between them, and that'll give you the option to create some ranges that you can't actually create just with the tribal stuff alone, because we do constrain based on their bloodline. But once you have a family and you're breeding, you know, a Kipik and a Genoa, or, you know, whatever else is that you choose, it's going to allow you to create things in between and kind of close to one or the other, but outside the ranges of what they would normally be able to do. So you're going to see a lot more dynamic characters as people get into the world and start breeding the different tribes. Delrip asks, can we breed with NPCs or other players? You can actually breed with both. There is the ability to create a relationship with the NPCs, so they will have children with you, they will marry and things like that. So yeah, you can do either player or NPC marriages. What about scars? So we don't have customization right now for scars and kind of things like that on top of the skin. However, those are things that can happen dynamically through play, and we may go ahead and add those as part of the character customization as well, but it's unlikely you would just go in and be able to like put a scar on there. One of the things you can't see right now because we're not showing it today is actually the narrative customization. things like what your occupation is, the types of activities you did when you were growing up as a child, and other things like that. Well, some of the things we've talked about doing with the narrative is allowing you to talk about, injuries that you had or particularly bad events in your character's history, which might actually then manifest itself as a scar showing up on your character. So it's not just a visual customization; you're actually creating a past for your character, which I think is one of the most important things about creating an identity for yourself beyond just what they look like. The hair reminds me of Sozo. Wow. Kind of does, doesn't it? Tattoos are possible, similar. We don't have them customized right now. The skin system and the skin shader in Chronicles of Elyria is super complex because we've got multiple layers. We've got the underlying vascular system, so you can see the veins in it. We've got the amount of melanin in your skin. So in most games, in most MMOs, when you pick a character, you have a color value that you use that kind of sets the skin color. But that's because you don't have to worry about crossbreeding. With Chronicles of Elyria, when you breed one character with another, we need to make sure that the colors kind of interpolate between the two characters in a way that is believable and that makes sense. And so as a result of that, we had to come up with this really interesting and complex skin shader. But that does mean that things like tattoos and scarring and stuff like that requires integration into that system. It is something that we're doing. We also have the aging system, so things like liver spots and wrinkles and other things like that. So we are working towards things like tattoos and stuff like that, but it's not something that we're working on right now because we have other things we need to get done with the skin system first. How are you approaching dominant and recessive genes? Somebody asked. There are dominant and recessive genes, but the way those manifest is when you breed your character with a family, like when you're doing the family system and creating a character, it randomly samples mom and dad's traits, and then you can blend between those. You get one reroll, so you can go ahead and reroll again, and that will allow you to get a different random set, and you have to accept the second when you are creating a character for that soul, for that spark. But when it samples the mom and the dad, there's a higher likelihood of it taking the dominant traits and a lower likelihood of it taking the recessive traits. And that's because we don't have a great way to represent all of the series of dominant and recessive traits, but as you then have further generations, it basically picks between the mom and the dad and uses the ones that are more likely to occur. So it's not purely recessive and dominant like it is in our world, but it does result in a similar type of system.
Yeah, I think she's pretty cute.
She's pretty good. I dig it. You should screenshot her, use her as your avatar. People were saying that the kit pic we showed in the forums yesterday, or when we did the definitive one, the quintessential kit pic, that she looked like you. I mean, that's what people said. I didn't. No, that's not what I said. All right, we've had a request for Broodveer male. How are we doing on time? Also, Kaizen.
We'll do the Broodveer and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. I want to quickly show the Yoru too after we get done with the Broodveer, just so people can see kind of what the extent of customization is there. So one of the things you're going to notice right off the bat, the Broodveer have some pretty intense eye colors there. So yeah, let's go with one of those hair colors. We've got ponytail, long hair. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. That's cool. Let's do the Psyduck.
Okay.
Spin around. I want to see what that looks like on here. Yeah, that's badass. I dig it. Let's make him red. Give him red hair. The red hair. That one. Yeah, let's go with that. Beard color too. The red beard. And then do we want a handlebar? Nah, it looked better without it. Full beard. Oh, jeez.
Doesn't go so great with that hairstyle.
No, I think we'd go back to what we had before. I think we had the, was it the goatee before? Yeah, I think it's good with the goatee too. They say, do you guys really like the full beard better? And they're calling him the Hound. They want to see Caspian too. He might actually look better with Caspian 1, but no, that's just messed up. Ooh, look at that. That actually looks really cool. I would play that too. People were asking what Snipe Hunter's role. Snipe Hunter is our lead designer, guys. he's responsible for taking the high-level vision and creative direction that I provide and helping me turn it into actual functional gameplay mechanics. So, respect the Snipe Hunter. Ooh, that's a good preset too. Did a good job on those guys. That's a big nose. Let's go with 1, 0. 0's a little more approachable, I think. What do you think? You want to go with 1? 1's pretty nice.
No, we can just fix this, you know.
We'll just fix this one.
Just want to make this face a little less wide. But he's got this nice brow.
They say not to do the full beard because you can't see facial features properly.
Okay. It looks like he's in a metal band. But he's not the lead singer, he's like the bassist. Actually looks like Senna.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, people are saying we promised Weird and Dreads. That's true. Just spin the random generator a couple
I guess
times.
we're just gonna have to
do the Weird.
abandon this dude.
Look at that. That's Willem Dafoe.
It's not that bad.
Wow, he's got some serious jaw muscles on that one.
Yeah. It's pretty attractive.
That's insane. He's definitely got some customization going on him.
Cool.
Holy jaw, they said.
Nice dreads.
They say... They said female. We want to see the female.
Okay.
So there is a bug right now, guys, with the female and the goatee, or with the dreads, just so you know. We can put it on, but the back doesn't line up right now.
Oh,
you can see the bald spot. The scalp size on the female is a little bit off, but we can still keep it.
Yeah, it looks fine from the front.
It looks fine from the front.
Got a little
We'll
problem
definitely
with the
fix it beforehand. No worries. Alopecia. So one of the things you're going to notice too with the Weird, I think they have some of the least amount of customization in terms of facial features, but that's actually a gameplay mechanic. If you guys recall from the write-up on the Weird, they all kind of look fairly similar, and they're also fairly androgynous. And that's just because one of the goals of the Weird has always been to kind of assimilate and to look very similar to one another. So that is intentional for them, but I think even in spite of that, they still look pretty good. I'm kicking the table, the camera is all freaking out and stuff like that. Sorry about that, guys. There's still some good customization there.
Well, we need to pull in the constraints a little bit.
Yeah. They want to know if they can change the expressions. You can't right now. We don't have the ability to change the expressions during customization.
There's like a lip
you can turn lip a little bit, but not too much. What we'll probably do is as we continue to work on the facial customizations, we might have slight expressions, and maybe during their idle pose, they might smile a little bit, or other things, just to give you an idea of what their character is going to look like.
Where is it? Corner.
My catchphrase apparently should be, but that's actually a game mechanic. We do tend to break the mold a lot of these things. I mean, if you guys have been paying attention, we kind of challenge the expectations. It looks like Mick, dude. You're not wrong on that. But if you've been paying attention, what you'll notice is that one of the goals of Soulbound Studios has always been to challenge people's idea of what's fun and immersive. And so everything from not having fast travel and not having immediate mailboxes, all the way to the fact that there is a form of permadeath with the characters while your soul lives on, and you do have the ability to take some of your progress with you. That you do need to make meaningful choices in the world as you leave a settlement. There is, I think, 8 or so different survival mechanics in play. Everything from how hungry and thirsty you are and how tired, all the way to poisons and toxins and exposure to the sun, or to things like snow and wind and sand. So, I mean, it is a dangerous world, so we do want players to think carefully about what they're going to do when they leave the world. So, yeah, we definitely do challenge the norm with this game. And it's not that we set out to challenge the norm, it's just we have a very specific idea about the world that we're trying to create. You'll notice I use the word world and not game. We continue to insist that Elyria is something different than a multiplayer online game. It is a multiplayer evolving online world. Do the teeth in the Broodveer and the Teresk show up? They do. I don't remember whether or not they show up during character creation or not.
We don't currently have a view for it.
Yeah. Her shaved hair. Yes, people, we know her shaved hair floats. It has to do with the size of her scalp right now.
If you guys can't handle a couple of graphical bugs, then we're just gonna turn off the whole stream.
Yeah, we'll turn this vehicle around.
Turn the stream around.
Turn the stream around. We'll just rewind and start over again. You guys would like that, wouldn't you? We'll just go back to picking the tribes at random again. And we have shown very little of the Harathi. People are wanting to see the Harathi female. We should probably do that. Female. Did we lose the stream, Kaizen?
I believe so.
I'm seeing a circular bar here. Alright, cool. Just on my end. People are like, literally nobody said Harathi, and then now people are like, Harathi! You guys want to see Genoa? Is that what this is? People are unhappy with my choice to show off the Harathi. We haven't shown the Harathi a lot, and in fact, we haven't done our target Harathi, the quintessential Harathi yet. Oh yeah.
His mustache.
Nah. Doesn't look quite as vicious. Actually, we think we need long hair for him. Not that one.
Not that one?
No, not that one. Let's go with long hair one, I think.
Bowl cut? Did you mean bowl cut?
Bowl cut? Sure. Bowl cut works, but we need to pick a different facial style.
Do we?
We get rid of the beard on him.
Should we?
Yeah, I think so.
He doesn't have a beard.
Okay, the mustache.
Oh.
No, put it back. Oh.
Yeah, Genoa aren't really about the full beard.
No.
But a handlebar
Handlebar,
mustache.
sure.
Yeah. Biker
There you go.
dude.
Ponytail. Need to work on his nose, man. He's got a big nose. That looks pretty good, though. I mean, that's a decent looking Genoa right there. Yeah, actually, that turned out really good just from the randomizer. Done. Ship him. Alright, guys, we're going to go ahead and show the Yoru real quick, just because that's one of the ones I said early on was well built in the face, and we've got the normal maps working correctly and things like that. So let's go ahead and zoom in. And you can see here how kind of adapted they are. They've got a lot more detail in the face right now than some of the other tribes do. And so this kind of gives you an idea that, ultimately with iteration, we expect that all of the tribes will look relatively distinct. There'll still be a range of customization, but we also hope that they bring with them their kind of distinct looks also. Let's get the white hair. Probably the shaved head. Bottom one, the shaved one. There you go. The Yoru actually don't tend to have hair. They have manes instead, so most of their hair actually starts on the back of their head and works its way down. Looks like it worked. Lurch. I mean, he's got quite a neck there too. He's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Honestly, you can do a really good job of creating a character just by going through the randomizer.
That's on purpose.
Yes. So again, these guys, they live in an extremely cold climate. They live in the tundra. But they can do that because of the protein that's in their bloodstream that they get from consuming a special type of fish up there that has effectively like a antifreeze type blood. And this is something that exists in our world as well, guys. There is actually creatures up in the tundra that do have this type of protein that allows them to live underwater inside the Arctic. Make Thanos. Yeah. Done.
Thanos has a mustache, right?
Morbus wants to know if that means that other tribes can eat that specialty fish. They can, guys. But remember that the Yoru have been doing it for a very long time. So just consuming that fish isn't going to make them immediately immune to the cold temperature. It would take many, many, many generations of evolution to do that. Like I said, all of these tribes have evolved longer, and as a result of that have these kind of special features. And the Yoru obviously have evolved the most, I think, in some regards. I think the Yoru, the Erishe, and a couple of others tend to evolve the most, and that's because they live in the harsher climates. The colder, the hotter, the wetter the tribe is, the more, or the biome is, the more that they would have had to evolve in order to survive there. But the Yoru are definitely visibly distinct. I want to know how short he can be. They're not very short. Even still, I mean, you're still talking 2.5 times the Kipik, I think. Making the smallest Yoru that you can.
Yeah, scrawny little.
They want to see the max slider on everything. Let's do min and max on everything on the Yoru, just for the fun of it. He definitely is missing some days. Hey, that's not bad. Scroll down. Do we miss any?
No.
All right. Holy crap. Wow. Yeah, I would not want to get near that thing. An angry Yoru that looked like that would be a problem. Yeah. Because remember, guys, the physicality of a character in this game is directly related to their attributes. So in order for a Yoru to look like this, they would have to be that strong. And so that would be scary. Juicing. That's more the Genoa, actually. Somebody said he was juicing.
Oh.
Like, that's more of a Genoa thing. All right, how we doing on time? We're doing good? Wrapping up?
Up to you.
Fast time. All right. Well, guys, I just wanted to, again, thank you guys for joining us. We've gotten a chance to kind of go through some, but not all. But we'll plan on doing another one of these at some point. We also still have a write-up we need to give you guys so you can see and learn a little bit more about the work that we've done. So if I was kind of going through the generator on a couple of these as well. Female Yoru. Genoa is druggy. There are so many combinations, guys, that we could just spend all day here doing this. Like, legit. But you know what? If we did that, we would take away the fun that you guys are going to have.
Eventually, the character creator will be in your own hands.
Yeah, remember, guys, so if you weren't aware or if you hadn't heard before, one of the first things you guys are going to get access to is actually My Akashic Records. And My Akashic Records is a tool that allows you to do, well, this. And so once you get that in your hands, you'll be able to create and save some of your own characters locally on your machine. You can experiment with it. Give us feedback on the user experience and the user interface so that we can help make it better before launch. And that's, I don't know when that's going to be available to you guys, but that's one of the first things that you guys are going to get your hands on. So that's something to look forward to. As you can see, it's quite usable at this point. So, you know, once we get a chance to clean that up, man, he looks good. I make that look good. So once we get this to you guys and you get a chance to give us some feedback and stuff like that, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. If you did, you know, make sure to let us know, provide feedback. Any other announcements I need to make? Kaizen, we're good. Everyone's telling me we nailed it. So guys, thank you, and gals, thank you very much for joining us. This has been the first opportunity we've had to kind of show you some live stuff going on inside the character creator. Looking forward to showing you guys more stuff in game as we move forward, whether or not that's more character creator stuff or getting into the game, running around, letting you guys see some of the amazing stuff we've been working on, both on crafting and other cool stuff. So keep up, keep following, pay attention to the blog as we release more information, and as usual, we'll see you guys next time.